We got some spiffy new music, it sounds like. That threw me. It's Kevin Kenny. Welcome to another edition of the Build Series live here in New York City. Very cold New York City. So you guys are champs for sitting in the audience in a very cold studio, if I'm going to be honest. Speaking of our guest today, I should get to this. You probably first met this gentleman thanks to his I Hate You, I Love You smash hit a couple of years back. But the new album, We, is what is going to make you a fan for life. He's on tour right now as part of the Broken Hearts Club tour. Please, let's give a warm build welcome to Gnash.
Hi, everybody.
It is freezing in New York City today.
Yeah, I'm from LA, so freezing is like a loose definition. I couldn't even walk this morning.
What is cold in LA?
Cold in LA is 72.
Get out of here.
Which is what I set the heater to immediately when I get into my hotel room.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this might be negative 72. It cracks me up because the last time, we're really covering all the bases here weather-wise.
Yeah.
The last time we talked, I think we have a picture of this, couldn't have been more opposite of today. We were like on a bed. Yeah, there we go. Can we trade places? Seriously, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Quite the pink
You grew your hair. I'm wearing the same shirt.
Are you really?
Yeah. That's so funny.
That's hilarious. Dude, I just want to thank you really quick for a lot of what you did on this new record, We, because
thank you.
We have a lot of guests on the show, of course, and a lot of guests have had hits like you've had hits in the past. And it's fascinating to me. Everyone wants to talk about the success of the hit, but then I'll ask them, like, what's it like, after the hit? What's it like, the afterglow, if you will? And they always have some like shticky line, if I can say so, right? Where they twist it or there's some narrative they've built. You are so transparent and honest on this album about what happened after you scored this big hit. Yeah. I'm curious. I'm sure that was always the idea because you're writing about your life the past 2 years. Yeah. But did you notice, like, did the narrative change at all of like how you were going to approach this album?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. Thank you. I definitely. I have a hard time being anything but completely honest when it comes to what I create. And so I think the mental place I was in is really clear on this album. And as I made it, I kind of documented what I was going through emotionally and mentally via making the music about it, because it's always been a place for me to feel better. And so the journey of the album, when you listen from song 1 to song 11, and then there's a couple bonus tracks, Hate You, Love You, and P.S. To me, that's the journey of growing to feel better. And that's why the cover is a garden, is because I planted the seeds for everybody else's flowers to grow. Every song has a flower as well. So like Feel Better, Dear Insecurity is a rose because it's hard to approach, but it's beautiful. A bunch of different things. Imagine If is Making a Wish. But the idea is that I was growing and I wanted to document that with the album. And so when you get to a song like Insane, for example, Today Might Be the Day I Go Insane, I felt that way pretty much every single day since I Hate You, I Love You was massive, because it's this crazy emotional thing when you attach how you feel every day to the success of your career. What I realize is that happiness is not success is not monetary. Happiness is success. And so I'm working towards that every day, and that's my goal for the year, is to be genuinely happy by the end of the year.
I think it's a great goal. You've been on quite the kick. I saw recently you were talking to somebody and you were saying like every day you're trying to start a new habit.
Yeah.
Did you start one today?
Today, actually, I rebought floss. I've been out of floss for a couple days. I'm supposed to floss at the end of the day before I go to bed. So did you know you're supposed to floss before you brush your teeth?
No.
See, now everybody's 50-50. I had no idea, but some people are like, oh, yeah, obviously. I'm like, what do you mean, obviously? That was news to me. And you're supposed to leave the fluoride on your teeth, I learned. After you brush, you're not supposed to rinse your mouth out. You're supposed to, like, wash your face
What are you, like, Googling all this stuff?
No, my dentist told me. I got a new dentist. So, like, that was part of it. I was like, wow, these are a couple things I can add in, Or, like, little meditation here and there throughout the day, trying to drink a little bit more water than I did the day before, one extra hug, one extra I love you, just calling my mom an extra time, like, whatever it is.
Which flowers for dental hygiene?
That's a great question. That one kind of looks like floss. Maybe you could use that one.
All right, I like
Insane,
it. Yeah. You said in a recent interview that when you look back at when you were breaking big a couple of years ago for the very first time, you look back at that person as an unappreciative person at times, and maybe sometimes like you weren't living in the moment. I'm curious if you can like sort of like be a bit introspective right now in front of all these people.
I'm permanently introspective, so you don't even need to ask me to go there.
Please go there, because what do you think it was about you and your DNA and your personality that made you like that? Because what struck me was I've only ever heard amazing things about you from like, I forget what publication did a great short doc on you a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, we did one with Fader.
There you go. Yeah, it was great. I think you bought your parents a house, and
we're working on it.
We're working on it. And just I've interacted with you a couple of times. You've been the nicest of guys. So to hear that, it was interesting to me. Take me back to just that psyche.
Yeah, it wasn't that I wasn't outwardly grateful or thankful for things going on. I just think it was more internally and genuinely feeling the feeling of being grateful. And so when things like I Hate You, I Love You were massively successful, or during Lights Down Low, for example, with Max, that was a big transition period for me because I could only be grateful because he was out there working every day and I was at home making my album. So I would just text him and be thankful and grateful.
You helped that record a lot, though.
I appreciate that, but Max made the song, and he really was out there every day, like asking people to play it and getting it to go, and I'm so thankful for that. And so I think that when I look back on my life, when you're in the moment of something, it's difficult sometimes to be genuinely present. And when yogis or meditation teachers or classes would tell me, "Oh, you just got to be present," I was like, "What do you mean be present? That's impossible. Like I'm either regretting the dumb thing I said 10 minutes ago, or thinking about the next thing I'm gonna eat for lunch, or the next thing I want to hit when it comes to success in my career, the next song I'm gonna write." But when you genuinely become present, all you can do is be thankful for everything that's going on. So like, I love the color of yellow that your hoodie is made of, right? I'm thankful for that right now because I love that color. It makes me feel happier and brighter. But if I wasn't just sitting here and being present in the moment, I probably wouldn't have recognized that. And that little burst of joy I got for being grateful wouldn't have existed. So at the time when Hate You, Love You was super successful, I was thankful and I was grateful and I still am. But I think right now I am more than ever because it's brought me to the place I am today. And it's allowed me to make sure that I'm present and make sure I'm grateful and all those things. But yeah, I would like to think I'm generally a nice person, but I think that being grateful amplifies that, and it allows you to be great.
What is it? Well, first off, you're welcome for the hoodie.
Yeah, no problem.
I just wanna, get that out of the way. But you sort of unlocked this like mythical presence among artists, because I was just talking to them in 1975, and I was asking them what it felt like playing MSG. And they were like, well, in retrospect, it's amazing. But like in the moment, I was like terrified. And it's like and then Matty Healy, the lead singer, was just like, nothing is great in the moment. He's like, life is really not awesome in the moment. And so, but I've heard other.
That's a dark way to think about it. But knowing their music, I feel
he can be a dark dude.
Yeah.
But what is the secret?
And he's fantastic.
What is the secret?
You got me. If anybody figures out the secret to genuinely being present 100% of the time, let me know. I think that like for me, it's been a lot of meditation and a lot of, like I said, so I realized recently when I was in Big Sur over Christmas that I carry my fear and my worry and my anxiety all on my shoulders. And that's why I always get tense in my shoulders. When I go in for a massage, I'm always like, tear these shoulders up, baby, let's go. Because everything's sitting right here all the time. So what I've been focused on is replacing fear with love and worry with trust and anxiety with gratitude. And so what I do throughout the day is I'll take 3 deep breaths from time to time whenever I start to feel overwhelmed, because all of those things add up to being overwhelmed, like a runaway train, right? Everything's getting away from me. I'm feeling like everything's getting out of control. And so what I'll do is I'll just close my eyes and I'll sit there, take a deep breath in and go into all the places I feel fear, replace them with something I love, breathe out. Then do the same thing for worry and anxiety. And I just take that time for myself during the day, and I think that allows me to be a little bit more present and appreciate the moment. And little things too, like last night during the show, I was singing I Love You So Much, and I took my glasses off, and I really tried to make eye contact with like at least 50 people in the crowd. And I realized I'd never done that before. And I was like, whoa, this is so crazy. These people are all here to listen to songs I sing. And I've done so many shows at this point, and so many people have come. I mean, I'm not Madison Square Garden size, but enough people. And I realized I'd never done that before. So I feel like every day I'm working a little bit harder to have that presence of mind and that peace of mind. Because you can't really build anything positively if you don't have a general baseline of peace of mind, right?
Yeah. Does it ever trip you out, though, like when, you know, that's a glance in your life, right, to one of those 50 people, but to them, like, that's a story forever. Like, dude, Nash looked at me one time.
Yeah, I mean, that's an awesome thing to think about. It's also like a pretty crazy thing to think about. But that's why it's important to me that every picture I'm smiling, and like, because that's a memory or a history for them for the rest of their life. And that ripple effect is extremely powerful. Because if I send a smile back into their world, or I send a smile back in everybody's world that's sitting here, then maybe you'll hold on to that feeling for a couple days, but then maybe you'll impact someone who's near you, and then that person will have a ripple effect to more people. I don't know. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This album, I guess, what a journey on this album, because I guess you started writing it, if I have this correct, like mid-2017.
Yeah, a little bit earlier. Yeah,
here
loosely
and there.
then.
And then I guess it was pretty much done early 2018. As an artist, do you ever worry with how fast this world moves? Like, we're talking about being overwhelmed by things. I think that's indebted in part to like just the speed of the social media age we're in right now. Do you worry like, wow, if I drop this in a year, will it be outdated lyrically or sonically? Is that something you think about as an artist?
I think about. So something that really drives me crazy is comparison. And so something that I actually want to get better about every day is comparing myself to other people less and less, and inwardly comparing me to my old self and comparing me and then saying, who am I now? And being proud of that growth, right? So I think in that process, a lot of the time what would actually get me overwhelmed is seeing, wow, like this kid just came out of nowhere, dropped this mixtape, and boom, he's the biggest thing in the world. And I'm sitting here working on the same 11 songs I've been working on for a year and a half. Like, how is that? And so what I had to have faith in is that, you know, the people around me and myself knew that these songs are really, really good. We're really, really proud of them, and they're timeless. They're not timely, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, comparison is the thief of joy. So as soon as I did my best to cut comparison every single day, and if I felt that building up, I just tried to let go of it, then it would make it easier for me to feel creative. Also, just staying off of my phone generally was helpful.
You've mastered that, I heard. Like,
Yeah, mastered is a loose definition, but yeah.
But
I'm doing my best. I charge it in the living room now at night, which is awesome, because that makes it so the first thing I pick up is not my phone in the morning. Right. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, it doesn't interrupt my sleep.
Yeah.
And that's been good. I bought a little alarm clock on Amazon that I've been using, which has been helpful.
Nice.
But yeah, like, you know, phones, I feel like if I check my phone in the first hour of the day, I have a significantly less creative day because other people's opinions and other things are coming in and affecting the way that I exist that day.
Yeah.
And I don't really like that. So I've been doing best to not have that affect my thought process.
Well, I love that timeless versus timely, because just to give you an idea, a story I heard recently that I got to share with you guys is that, you know, this album just came out, I believe, on the 11th, right?
Yeah, 111.
111. And Dear Insecurity, or DI, are we calling this DI now?
I call it DI casually.
Okay, it's cool. But that song's been out for, you know, maybe 6 months or so, maybe almost a year. And people are already getting tattooed.
A lot of them.
So you're talking about the timelessness, man. Like, yeah, it is timeless. Like these, you know, again, you can make a mixtape and go viral overnight, but no one is getting a tattoo on their body of that mixtape. Hopefully.
Possibly.
Hopefully not.
Possibly. Yeah. Maybe something really connects, right? And that's the beauty of music is as an entertainer and as somebody who creates for a living, my goal is to help people feel better. Mm-hmm. So when I walk into a room or if my presence is requested somewhere like here today, I want to help people feel better. And so Dear Insecurity is a song that's doing that for people, and that's fantastic. And I'm so thankful for that. And people want to get that tattooed on them for the rest of their life. Like, I mean, I kind of did by making the album, right? It's got my name next to it. So they're right there with me, and I love that.
There's some lyrics on the song that I want to ask you about, just kind of take us inside, because there's so many, I think, important lessons to be learned through this album. One of these is, I'll never be good enough ever again.
That's something I think about probably once a week minimum, maybe a couple times a week, maximum. And the idea that like whatever I do, whatever I say, whatever I think will never be good enough for XYZ person or things like that. And what I realize what the verse comes around to is that nobody likes me more than when I'm being myself. I say nobody likes you more than when you're being yourself, but that's the lesson I learned. And so I was trying to teach a lesson by the end of the verse, because, you know, you worry about other people's opinions and all of these things, and they all start to clutter your mind, and they make you think that you shouldn't be who you are. Especially in the world we live in, looking at our phones all the time and seeing other people living their best lives. What you don't know is that person the night before they were out on their cool boat might have had food poisoning, were on the toilet all night. Who knows? Right. You know what I mean? But they're not going to share that. Obviously, I wouldn't share that. That'd be weird. So so you just try to keep that in mind. Like, I am good enough, and I am proud of who I am. And that's an important lesson I learned over the last couple of years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then another one I wanted to ask you about, you write in the song, if I'm sad, then you deserve it.
If I'm sad, then I deserve it.
Then I deserve it. If I'm sad, then I deserve it. Like, what is the psyche, though, if you break that down? Because I'm sure that's
I think in the moment when you feel like that, then you're thinking, all right, well, if somebody, whatever has happened, if you're feeling sad, then like maybe you have done something to deserve that. And like, honestly, like in the grand scheme of the song, that's just not the case. And in the grand scheme of life, that's not the case. Sometimes bad stuff just happens. It's okay to have a bad day. It's totally fine. As long as you do your best to not have a bad day the next day. Do everything you can in your power to feel like you're in a positive mental place and you feel better that next day. That's what counts. And so if I'm sad, then I deserve it in that line. But underneath the surface, I'm hurting, searching, and learning. My imperfections make me perfect. That's what I learned.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
When's the last time you had a bad day, if you don't mind sharing?
A couple days ago, when I was in Austin, I kind of had a weird day, and I don't know why. You never really know why necessarily. But then what I did is I challenged myself, and I tweeted this too. I asked myself, why am I having a bad day? And I genuinely could not have it. I didn't have an answer for it. Like, yeah, like my coffee was a little cold by the time I got to it. Maybe the weather was a little bit weird. Maybe there were 20 tickets unsold for the show. Those are all fine positives. As many people were there as were meant to be there, and that's how that show was meant to go. My coffee was probably cold because maybe it would have burned my mouth if it was 5 minutes before. Like, the weather was probably weird, so I had to stay inside more in my pajamas, which I prefer to do anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, everything has a positive and a negative way to look at it. So, I challenged myself, and then I had a good day for the rest of the day because it's never too late to hit the reset button and start over.
Dude, you're in like a beautiful place right
Thank
now.
you.
Like, are you
I'm doing
aware
my
of that? No, like, seriously. Like, that's...
Well, I like to think that it's my job, it's my purpose to empower and to teach. If I'm having a terrible day, I want people to know, because then I want to have a great day and have them see that it's possible to have both.
Well, and also just makes us feel like, oh, like Nash can have a bad day. Like, whoa, I'm allowed to have a bad day, because I think that's something like I'll struggle with.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, no, you're not allowed to have a bad day.
Yeah, see, that's the weird thing, right? And I used to think that all the time. Oh, gee, you can't have a bad day because all these people look up to you. But then I realized if I'm just authentically myself and I let people know no matter what kind of day it is that I'm going to have a better day tomorrow, or I'm having a great day today and I hope I have a better day tomorrow, then everybody can grow with me, and then we can all feel like this garden, which is just beautiful and alive. Get a little couple butterflies landing on our heads. That'd be nice.
Who drew this?
My friend Max. He's my creative director.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Max's, what's your relationship like with Max on that Lights Down Low song? Because that song to me is just fascinating. I remember talking to him about that song when you were not on it, you know, a number of years ago. That song kind of been around, and then it became the biggest hit of his career, which I think is beautiful just because it's...
He'll have more. He'll have bigger ones.
Oh, of course. I mean, endlessly talented, that guy.
Absolutely.
I mean, just cool to unpack that song. It's about, you know, he wrote it for his wife.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
But you guys kind of, when you score your biggest, you know, his biggest hit of his career with somebody, there has to be a camaraderie there. What's your relationship like with that song?
Yeah, so you know, that song came together super organically. We were due to work on some tunes. We had been friends for a little while, and then he said, "Hey, this song's doing really well online. I'd love if you know, put a verse on it, and maybe we do like an internet release version of it or something like that." Because that made sense. And I was like, yeah, dude, like for sure. I turned the verse back, and then whatever clicked into place needed to, and his label decided that was the version to go to radio with. So they did that, and it was amazing because he has such a powerful work ethic, and I'm so proud of him for really making that happen, because he saw the potential of something, and he was like, I'm going to get this, and I'm going to make sure this happens, and he worked and worked and worked and played shows and met people and shook hands and said hello as many times as he needed to make sure that people heard that message. Because at the end of the day, Max has the same goal in mind that I do, or any of us do, if you do something that you feel like you love to do, which is that when you go out in the world every day, somebody heard Lights Down Low every single day. People are hearing it right now for the first time and feeling better by it, right?
Yeah.
And he did that. He brought that to people, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So I'm proud of him, and I just talked to him yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we talk all the time. We're good friends.
That's cool. Does he ever give you fashion tips? I love whenever he shows up for an interview, I'm like, where the heck did you even get that?
His fashion tips for me are just like more sequins, bro. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, he's great, but no fashion tips. We have a little bit of a different steez, but
yes,
you know, yeah.
My favorite song off the record is T-Shirt.
Hey, man, thanks.
And can we actually, I don't know if we can do this or not, but if we can bring up the video, that would be awesome. But in the video, you pay tribute to a bunch of, like, some of my favorite music videos growing up. There we go. And, you know, a bunch of bands that I don't want to name because we're going to play a game here with Nash. And I was going to do it just you, but I thought this would be way more fun is if it was, like, Nash versus fans.
Love it.
Would this
like
be
a buzzer
cool?
type of thing?
If we had a buzzer, we'd use it, but maybe I'll just make a loud noise. So the way the game works is that you pay tribute to a bunch of iconic bands from about 10 to 15 years ago, pop punk kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we're going to play a snippet of it. 1 second. That's all you hear. And we're going to see if you guys can both guess
the artist name.
The artist.
Okay.
And even the song. Maybe we'll do like bonus points for song.
This is either going to be really embarrassing for me
or
really impressive.
You do know your music trivia, though.
I do. As a DJ originally, but I wasn't necessarily playing music like this, so this should be interesting.
All right. This is awesome. What's your name? Marina. Don't forget the microphone, Marina.
Hi, Marina.
Hi.
Great name.
Let's get snippet number 1, can we?
Black Parade.
My Chemical Romance.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. All right, wait.
That was good, Marina.
Yeah, that was like crazy.
That was fantastic.
That was 1 second. All right, wait. We might have to stay with you for the next one because that was so fast. Can we get song number 2 here in the studio?
Oh, is that Sum 41?
Play it again. Do you know?
Good Charlotte.
It might be Good Charlotte. That's a hard part. It's just like a general guitar chug.
Hop on guitar riff. All right. Unfortunately, wait. Do you want to go to the peanut gallery?
Oh, it's Blink. You're right.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
Right,
Blink 182, all the small things.
Man, good call.
That was good. All right. You want to pass the
that got that one
microphone
right.
back one row? Oh, you have a microphone.
You got a mic.
Wow. Everybody gets a mic. Okay. What's your name?
Princess.
And where are you from?
Really?
Brooklyn, yeah.
Nice. Your name's
Wow.
Princess?
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next sound up.
Oh, Misery Business, Paramore.
Ooh.
You were quick on the draw. Do you want any guess?
I have no idea.
No? All right,
have
Misery
no
Business. Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
Another
cool.
one for Nash. Do we have another one? No, we do not. All right, that was the game, ladies and gentlemen.
That was fun. I can
was
make
good.
up a couple.
That was impressive, all the small things. How'd you know that? Just a big Blink fan?
It was just a good chug. That's a classic.
Yeah.
Fantastic song.
That's awesome. Really quickly, we're going to... we have two more. All right. Somebody
great.
Somebody yell no.
Here we go.
All right. Sorry, Princess, you ready? Wait, one
Oh,
more time?
all-time low.
You're like insane at this.
I just got off tour with them for a year and a half, so that's an unfair advantage.
And Dashboard, dude. You know how jealous I am?
Oh,
of you?
man. Yeah, that was awesome.
That had to be a dream come true, right?
Fantastic for me. Yeah.
Did you do the rooftop deal here in the city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I grew up listening to this music and DJing hip hop records.
Okay.
So that was kind of the parallel of my life, and that's kind of what
Perfect
merged
education.
into Nash.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have one more? All right. The rumors are true. All right, Princess, this is you.
Oh, Good Charlotte.
Princess did- was it-
I performed that at my 5th grade talent show.
Did you really?
Fully lip sang it.
That's amazing.
It's a new day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was like the Madden song back in the day. If you played that.
Yeah, and now they are the Madden Bros. So they were.
Oh my
probably
God. Yeah. That's
thriving.
weird. I never made that connection.
They were probably like, wow, yeah, finesse of the century.
Yeah, seriously. Let's get to these fan questions we have.
Let's do it.
Twitter is going to come up first. We got @FrankieLaz_Laz.
Cool.
Where did the motivation come from to write your song "Belong"?
I love that song. So I was living in an Airbnb by myself for the first time away from my parents' house a couple years ago, and my buddy Denham came over. He played me the chorus idea, and the motivation for my verses came from just feeling like kind of my whole life I've always felt like I'm kind of on the outside circle of what would be considered cool or popular or mainstream, right? So that song is about that feeling and not feeling like I necessarily fit in, but then the beauty of the fact that there's this whole world of people where I do fit in, and that's what the Broken Hearts Club is, and that's why we're traveling around the country playing songs as the Broken Hearts Club.
How is tour going, by the way?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's been so cool. We do arts and crafts before the show as like a VIP thing.
Oh, amazing.
And then after the show, we do, and it's a different activity every night. So we've made picture frames with popsicle sticks.
Oh, dude.
We've done hats, like custom hats. We did like paper mache flowers one night. It's been really cool. And then after the show, we do a Broken Hearts Club meeting where we just give out wristbands throughout the night to a bunch of people that come by that come to merch. Maybe they're wearing a homemade shirt, or maybe they have the first tour's merch on, or they're just really excited. And we just give everybody, photographers, everybody in my crew besides me, liberty to just give out passes to whoever we think needs them the most. And they'll come to the meeting after, and we do a group meditation. We split everybody into groups and ask them questions of the day, like what do you do that helps you feel better, things like that. And then I come out and hang out, and I talk about something, and then we all breathe together and take a group photo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's totally free. We just do that because it's important to give hugs and tell people you love them.
And is this all going to be going down to Irving Plaza tomorrow night?
Oh, yeah.
That's like right up the road.
Right up the road.
And a few tickets I've been told in the back are still available. So if
A
you're watching
couple,
this
yeah.
live, or
And
if you're here,
if you're in New York or anywhere near it, come hang out.
But it's not just New York. You're also doing a bunch of dates. I think you
Yeah.
wrap up February 8th in LA.
Yep.
So there's dates from now until then.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
and then what
man.
is this Valentine's Day idea I heard you had?
Oh, so we're going to do this thing for Valentine's Day where we write, we're going to write Valentine's Day letters to ourselves as one of the arts and crafts activities.
Okay.
And then basically, I'd like to be able to deliver them to them on Valentine's Day. I don't know how reliable USPS is for that, but yeah, that's one idea I have. And then we're thinking about a couple other things like that. But I just think like self-love is such an important thing. One night we did self-love garlands where we just wrote things we love about ourselves and cut them out and made garlands of them for people's bedrooms and stuff. I think it's so important just to take time for yourself every day because the world we live in is so demanding to do everything but pay attention to what we need and how we feel and what we need to thrive.
Yeah.
And so if you just take those 3 breaths or that 10 minutes a day or 30 seconds or whatever it is to just love yourself and appreciate what you bring to the world and amplify that, and smile, because people are a lot more powerful than they realize they are a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah.
And a smile can go a lot further than a lot of people think. So so that's what we're doing on tour, and it's been awesome.
Sweet, man. We're gonna get to the next Twitter
Please.
question right here. Sunkissed.
Wow, about
Tay.
self-love, the next question.
Hey, you want to read it?
Sure. I've been struggling with self-love. What advice could you give me to appreciate myself a little more and grow as an individual? Love you lots. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, the question's up here. Well, first of all, thanks for asking that. That's a beautiful question. And like I was just saying, I think the best thing that you can probably do is just take, wow, my posture's terrible. If my mom's watching this, I'm sorry. Roll the shoulders. That's the first thing. Sit up straight. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water a day if you can, because water's so important. And also just make sure that you're taking time every day to breathe and think and be grateful. One trick I do maybe in the morning if I'm feeling a little bit off when I wake up, because everybody wakes up on the wrong side of the bed at least half the week, right? So one thing that I try is I lay there for the first however long it takes, minute, 2 minutes, extra 3 minutes. Try not to fall back asleep, but breathe like 10 times, and just every one of those breaths in and out, a real good deep breath. I think of the one thing that I'm thankful for, and I do 10 of those. And they can be anything. It can be water, or like the fact the earth is spinning, the fact I'm breathing, the fact that I have an awesome set of parents, the fact that like my cats are really cool, like whatever it is, you know, the fact I'm in New York today. And I do that, and that usually tees me up to find little things I'm grateful for throughout the day. Because if you're giving out that much love and you're giving out that much trust and gratitude, it'll come back around. And then that way it makes it a lot easier to love yourself too. So I hope that helps a little bit with that question.
We are learning a lot today. It's an important build. All right, we have time for one final studio audience question. I'll come
Please.
right over here. What's your name, man?
Joe.
Joe,
Cool.
Hi.
love your goatee, man.
Thanks,
Fantastic.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. There's a film critic I listen to who asks this question of a lot of his actors, and the answer is always fascinating. So I want to know from you is, what's your go-to karaoke song?
My go-to karaoke song is "Livin' on a Prayer," Bon Jovi. I do it with my buddy John, who's my drummer and my best friend from high school. And wherever we are, if we're in like Nashville to like we've been overseas, anywhere, like we always like about halfway through the night, couple PBRs in, we'll look at each other and be like, "You ready?" He's like, "Oh yeah." And we just go up and do the whole thing, and it's a hilarious like dynamic duo thing. Shout out to John. Yeah. So yeah. What's yours?
Interestingly enough, Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks.
Nice. I like that. I have a long sleeve from that as a vintage merch item.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it always
Yes.
gets the crowd going, so you can't hear me as much.
Yeah.
Hear the crowd a lot, so
That's
it works
good.
well.
That's the best kind of karaoke where you don't have. That's like my shows. I'm like this. Half of the show, I just got the mic out to everybody else. The hard parts, especially. The
guys
ones that
take
took
this
me
a
like
lot.
too many takes at home to get correct. I'm like, you guys do it. Like, and they do. It's awesome. And it always sounds like angelic, you know. I'm like, all right, you got me. Yeah.
Well, you can experience that firsthand, of course, as part of the Broken Hearts Club tour.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, a couple of seats are still available at Irving Plaza tomorrow night, and
Yep.
the tour is going to go straight through until February 8th out in LA. And the album, of course, as you can see to my side, We, out and available everywhere now. One more time, everybody, for Gnash.
Thank you so much for having me, everybody. Much love.